run them down. That's a full team kill.
He's looking for third. He's gonna get it.
Against Kinger now in a 1v2 once again. He finds one. He finds the second. He's still alive. Can he go in?
Oh my
God.
goodness.
He's gonna go bar down and give Saints the lead again.
To the Overwatch Collegiate Championship Series. My name is Jackson the Pride Brown, joined alongside Dan, Mr. Danners here, or man, Dan, Mr. Danners banner, but it is going to be the Overwatch Collegiate Championship coming through here today. St. Clair Saints versus Emerson College, and this is week one. We don't really have any kind of games played yet in the series, but this
Activision Blizzard's league, the Overwatch Collegiate Championship. It used to be kind of called TESPA, so it is a league that's been around for a little bit. That being said, though, our opponents here today, Emerson, I've not seen them.
Yeah, I don't know kind of anything about them.
And it adds for an extra spicy wild card, to say the least. So that being said, the first good step about a strong team is everybody's there on time, and literally as soon as it hit 1 o'clock, everybody was in the lobby good to go.
Hey, that's what we like to see.
Everyone's nice and organized, ready for the game, so we're not going to have to stall for too much longer before we get ourselves into the game. But one thing to also just quickly take note of, for the Saints, just because this team is such a wild card, I'm just trying to think if there's any, not necessarily role swaps, but any composition changes. I mean, Overwatch has been kind of standard for a little while, though.
Yeah, it's been kind of standard here, so I think we're going to see a lot of these standard setups coming through here from the Saints for today. Just the basics. Go back to it, play what you've been playing in the scrims, just do your defaults, and I think we're not going to see a whole lot of surprises coming through, at least in this Emerson game. We do have another game at 5 p.m.
That one's going to be an interesting one as well.
Yeah, that one's going to be against USF. I think that one will be a little bit more challenging here for the Saints, and we'll test more of what they've been working on in scrims. But as of for this game, I think we're going to see a lot of default setups. We're going to see a lot of just Saints doing their thing.
Yeah, you have to play safe, especially sure, we might be hyping up USF already because we've played them before. But that being said, we cannot sleep on Emerson, especially since they're all so organized and whatnot. You never know. This squad can be absolute slayers, and we'll be seeing momentarily. Lineups will be coming through in just a moment here, actually. I think we're actually getting ourselves into game. There we go. It looks like we're going to have Emerson on the left side, St. Clair going to be on the right. So starting things off momentarily here. Why is the map name running away from me here? But nonetheless, if we do take a look at this Emerson Esports squad, that's going to be Spades of 5, Ghost Girly, ISO, Hyper Puppy, Purple Watload, and Unsound Toast.
Hey man, those are some great names if I ever heard them. So this is going to be the control point now, unlocking in about 20 seconds as both teams are looking to get their way on the move towards this big central point. And it's going to be an absolute blood battle over here as both teams are trying to get the mayhem started here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. So let's get this one hopped in. It is going to be the Spades of 5 just coming in hot and ready, firing off a lot of damage early on. Now getting healed up and will come right back in, trying to potentially get a slam. Going to get walled off and will be bailable, and G-Scales able to find the first 2 picks here in this game and allow the control point going in favor of St. Clair. ISO falling as well. St. Clair doing a great job right at the start.
Yeah, I mean, that was solid overall. Spades of 5 really making his presence known right off the start. However, got a little bit overzealous trying to go through the front door, through the bunker that Apostles Arisa did have set up and whatnot. Got stunned up, and I don't care if you're a tank or not, you get stunned up in front of 6 people. You're going to get yourself popped pretty quickly here, so Saints are going to get the first initial control point, and G-Scale's already finding a pick here onto ISO.
Yeah, it's going to be another one onto ISO. That Tracer is going to be a vital part of Emerson Esports' composition here, but now falling twice won't be able to help out the team a whole lot. It's going to be bailable here on the back line, trying to find an opening. Will spot out a player from the side of Emerson, but not able to get the cleanup. St. Clair still ticking on this point, and it's now about 40% gain for themselves. It has been an absolute tear for the Saints, and they're keeping the ball rolling. G-Scale is going to find Unsound Toast, and that's going to be a 6-on-5 for St. Clair. Doing a great job here so far, now approaching the halfway marker here on the point.
Yeah, and right now the Saints have been able, not necessarily to spawn trap, but they are keeping the side of Emerson just kind of stuck away from the actual control point, which of course is the big drum that we see dead center. G-Scales has been finding his shots early here. Hyper Puppy going to go down. Both the DPSs on the side of Emerson just not quite able to find their mark here so far. And a tank line here from St. Clair is just pushing them further and further away, making this absolutely brutal for Emerson. and Saints looking to take round 1 decisively, unless Emerson can pocket some ultimates, which, to be fair, they have a couple around the corner, but Saints have some as well.
So now, Dan, with Emerson being in their spawn, I think we have a little bit more of an idea of their kind of overall skill level coming through here in this matchup.
Off one map, though?
I don't know. I just see that as soon as the Saints put somebody in the spawn and do stuff like this, and on a 10-player kill streak, that's where I get concerned. I think the Saints are going to have the head here of this game, and they are going to continue to keep the spawn trap in effect. It's going to be about 95% here on the marker. Spades of 5 is trying to get a contest going, but it's not working out too well. We're already going to get the objective secured, and that is a 1-0 round here for the Saints. They're going to need to get one more here, though, before they win the first map.
Yeah, honestly, good little effort there from Spades of 5. I was going to say, if you're going to have a Wrecking Ball, that does give you like the backdoor capture opportunity if you're pushed up too far. And it was punished a little bit, nearly had to flip, but not quite going to be effective this time by. Now off to the second portion of this map, a little bit different. Rather than that big drum as the control point, got to go all the way up in this big old landing area. This is where everyone's going to be trying to contest this time by. These walls do fall and rise over the map's like time. So with shifting terrain, as we see right there, might be a little bit more interesting. And it looks like the side of Emerson, actually both sides here, opting for a bit of a different tank line with more Reinhardt action.
So this looks like a completely different map over just on this other control point. Very, very interesting to see, but regardless, it is going to be the Saints diving in, trying to find their respective kills. Arjun already getting some good util down. G-Scales will lock up Spades of 5, and that will be a kill in that regard. Now already a 6-on-3 for the Saints. It will be ISO, Hyper Puppy, and Ghost Girly to make it work out, but now all just left up to Ghost Girly will fall off and try to keep her life. But regardless, St. Clair off to a great start, going to be capturing the control point here now and looking to lock this one up as we see Emerson Esports regrouping back in their spawn, trying to make another team push.
Yeah, Ubel is going to secure this one. Meanwhile, everybody else from the Saints taking the high road, which is the more commonly taken way. The low ground is possible to take, but it just leads you right over a underground bridge. That is a nightmare scenario to try and have to traverse. And this composition right now here from St. Clair has just been like quite clutch between the point-blank nature of G-Scales as well as Apostle right there with the Shatter. Going to take everybody down pretty quickly, knocks everybody down. Let's run along here with Bailable, who's got those Reaper shotguns point-blank there with everybody. Decent damage as well. Going to send everybody back to the spawn. And another solid hold so far here for St. Clair here on Emerson.
Yeah, they're keeping the momentum going here for the side of St. Clair. It is now going to be a 6-on-6 back in action. 40% about around there for St. Clair here right now, so they're just looking to hold on. Oh, Bailable firing away those Reaper revolvers, just as you were saying. Going to find some nice shots and a lot of damage, as Ghost Girly will actually take down Apostle. Ardrunk will be there for a little bit of a trade, but ISO will find Ubel. Ardrunk going to trade out ISO, and then we have Ubel. Yeah, this is absolutely messy. Ubel will take down Hyper Puppy. We have Ardrunk taking down Unsound Toast. Spades of 5 finding G-Scales. Ardrunk trading it back for the Purple Watermelon, and we got Cheesy taking down Spades of 5. Bailable sending some util down. This looks like, yes, it is messy, but I think it did swing in favor of the Saints, just barely there. It's going to be Emerson now looking to regroup.
Yeah, so a lot of ultimate charge is going to be generated now here for Emerson. We do take a look. There is the 4 check marks there up in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Meanwhile, St. Clair, only the Diva Bomb currently. However, Bailable and Ubel will have ultimates around the corner. Apostle as well. So seems a little bit more even more even than it would look as of this moment here. And on the big one there for St. Clair, we're right along with Bailable because he does have that Death Blossom available. Could possibly line it up here with a Shatter from Apostle. And it is going to combo up here. Here comes Bailable. Spin the win all over everybody. Wow. And there goes the team.
Yeah, that is all 6 down for the next 5 to 10 seconds, and that is just a huge opening now for the Saints to allow them to close out map number 1 and to allow them to find the game number 1 here of this series, and it's going to be a 1-0 lead, and only a best of 3 here. It's not like NECC or NACE or whatever it is, where you have to play all 3 maps. It is going to be just needing 2, and then you are good to go. So St. Clair already going to be up here 1-0 in the series, only needing 1 more against Emerson before they shut this down.
Okay, showing up strong here. Just right now, like, Emerson seems to have a hard time getting things started. Like, a couple of individuals have their opportunity for some, like, individual breakouts. And honestly, like, Spades of 5, initially, right off the start, like, made their presence known off that first round. But then, like, sure, it's just the one person through. You can focus them down. Even if it is the Wrecking Ball, just stun them up, and that's it. And nobody else really on the side of Emerson really made the splash so far in this series. So now Saints looking to trade this to, I believe it's a hybrid map, because with the rules here for Activision Blizzard, this is not a best of 5, which means we don't have to worry about 2 capture point maps, the modes that everybody tends to hate. We don't have to play that in the slightest. So a little bit of a smaller map pool, a more liked map pool as well.
Hey, thank you for best of 3s, am I right? So it is going to be St. Clair, yeah, like you said, not having to play the, nobody likes them. Like, it's literally like, who likes playing the double capture points?
You don't want 3 overtime rounds?
What, you don't want a best of 3 series going an hour long?
A best of 3 series within one game by itself?
Yeah, exactly the point here. So now just waiting to hop into game number 2 here. I think from what we saw, those Saints gonna have a little bit of Emerson's number here over in game number 1. Yes, it was just one map, but it's only one more map that Saints need to actually win out the series. So it's a lot to break down here. It's a lot to get excited about. St. Clair is looking to move on to 1-0 in the Overwatch Collegiate Championship Series, and they are not too far away from it here now, as it is only one more map needed to take on Emerson, and I don't think they're really going to have too many issues.
I mean, that being said, different map style, different play style for this next game coming up. So I do not want to rule Emerson out here. Yes, did they look like they got a little bit dominated in game number 1? Sure. But you never know. That being said, though, this map is probably not going to do them any justice. We're on Saints Row.
Yep, Saints Row, some people call it Kings Row, but we prefer Saints Row over around these parts, and it is going to be St. Clair leading 1-0. We're going to flip these slides for you guys real quick, as St. Clair is in the blue, and Emerson is in the yellow, and it is going to be the Saints looking to get this one going. Let's see how it does play out. Everybody picking off their heroes, and will we see some changes? Okay, so it's looking pretty standard here for the setups on either side, but actually Emerson going for something a little bit different. I don't know exactly who Haha Good Meme is playing on there.
Oh, that's a substitution, I think.
Yeah, that's a substitution coming through. That's what I was saying. Yeah, Emerson Esports going to have a player come through that wasn't in game number 1. So, hey, maybe having a little bit more map-dependent players, game mode-dependent players. We'll see what happens. Overall, though, the Saints going to come through with a very strong pick. I like seeing all the picks coming through for them. Cheesy on the Diva as per usual. Emerson, though, looking to get this one started here. St. Clair on the defense first, I believe, and Emerson looking to get the attack going.
I mean, I like this out here from Emerson. This is a pure, dive and let's get point blank with a little bit of extra poke there from Hyper Puppy. That being said, Hyper Puppy nearly getting poked out by St. Clair as well. But this whole composition here for Emerson is going to rely on them just diving on in and forcing these point-blank engagements. You do not want to have to go up against a Cassidy and a Hanzo from far distances. They will win that trade every single time. As we see G-Scales up on the top, actually, just basically using this little perch here as a sniper spot.
Yeah, it's working out very well for himself here now. It's going to be a 6-on-5. Arjunk already falling here, so St. Clair at a little bit of a disadvantage. Cheesy now just about to get de-mech'd, actually, and it is going to be Apostle able to answer back, taking down Spades of 5. Bailable finding 1, G-Scales finding 1, so St. Clair has managed to turn things around. G-Scales already has his ult, Dan. That is absolutely crazy. We're only a few seconds in this game, and he's already ready to pull out those dragons if need be, and it is going to be St. Clair forcing Emerson right back into their spawn.
Yeah, that's actually brutal. That Hanzo ultimate is not a fast charging one, to be fair. So this means that G-Scales is finding very solid shots here on a consistent basis, headshots at that as well, just to boost how fast his charge is. And he might be able to even get something started without the use of the dragon. Gets a bunch of them down, really forcing Unsound Toast to have to use the invulnerability matrix.
Dude, they aren't even looking at him.
And now they're just spread right out. There's nothing they can do. There's too much to deal with.
Yeah, he's literally up there, free real estate. Just firing away shots without anybody focusing onto him. It's going to be Bailable, able to find one on Spades of 5, and St. Clair immediately forcing the side of Emerson right back into their spawn, trying to find these openings, and getting all of this good map control. As you see Bailable coming through here with his revolver, saying, no, not you today, Diva. You get out of here as well. And it is going to be the side of Hyper Puppy freezing down, and now forced right back into the spawn, where they are going to be all getting healed right back up. But honestly, you've already burned 2 minutes off the clock if you're St. Clair.
And it almost was turnable there. Emerson was able to catch some of the Saints getting a little bit over aggressive with maybe trying to take the spawn camping position a little bit too soon. And a few people did get really low, but some solid support work here from the Saints. Going to keep everybody topped off, but this could finally be the move that the side of Emerson is looking for. However, a little bit of a trade back and forth, but the main tank on the Saints is down. Apostle's out.
Yeah, that is going to be a Apostle down. That's exactly what you are looking for if you're Emerson. You also do have those 4 ults. Yubel will pop his to try to get some support out to his teammates, but we do have Ghosty Girl, Hyper Puppy finding Cheesy, and this might just be it for the side of Emerson if they can actually get their way back over here. We do have a few players from the Saints ready to go on this last line of defense kind of thing, but the spawn trap is no longer there. It is all going to be on the point here now, and it is going to be a contest coming through. Yubel able to get some util down on some toast, but haha, Goodme able to get some back on the Argent. G-Scales will find mismatch. Hyper Puppy taking down Yubel will leave us now in a 5-on-5. Both teams battling their absolute fullest here through this point. That is almost a tick made for the side of Emerson. If they can get there here now, it's a lot of picks going in favor of G-Scales and Bailable, though. That is a little bit concerning there for themselves. They don't even have that tick there, Dan.
Yeah, that's definitely heartbreaking. They are right on the verge of getting that first initial tick. Could have saved them a little bit of time in the long run, but not going to end up being the case. All of that would have been for naught. And everybody on the Saints, though, had to basically blow everything. The only one who's going to have any sort of ultimate is going to be Arjunk, which is more of a supportive, maybe, like, yeah, a bit of more of a supportive ultimate than anything. So it's not going to be able to really flip this one around. That being said, I'm going to be looking out for Hyper Puppy here on this Mei because the Blizzard is going to make or break this fight.
Exactly it, right? I mean, you see that ice wall there right in front of the point going to come through. G-Skills will shut down Hyper Puppy, and yeah, just as you were saying, he's down. The Mei is the first one out of the fight. Cheesy G-Skills able to shut this one down on the back line, and you only have 10 seconds remaining. You have to capture the point right here, right now, but it doesn't look like you're able to. St. Clair is just disembling your team here and just finding all of these picks, and it is now going to be 4 seconds away until we are set to the overtime. You do have a Hanzo ult from Haha. Good me, he's going to pop. That Hyper Puppy pops their ult, but honestly, not able to hop onto the point in time. That is no control point captured. St. Clair only needs 1 tick here now, Dan.
Yeah, that was completely doable for Emerson. But the execution that came out of Saints was just right on point, whether it was attempted to or not. The fact that Hyper Puppy, instantly the first one targeted out and taken out of that fight, the game-changing, like the Blizzard ultimate, completely gone unusable. You kind of got to see it at the last little bit when they were trying to fight through this corridor here. But at that point, you're just kind of reaching, right? It's a stretch. It's no longer like comboing with your teammates. It's just like solo queue full sending it. And it's just unfortunately all got like turned around on Emerson just from the 1 pickoff. So solid job there from Saints, solid target, solid focusing, and now their attacking side, like you said, only 1 tick necessary. That is going to be a lot of wiggle room, to say the least.
So much wiggle room. You have 4 minutes to get a third of a capture point. I just don't see a world, honestly, where the Saints don't get it. Like, I literally, if they don't get it, I will be absolutely shocked. I'll go jump in the pond right now outside of St. Clair and fully clothed. But regardless, it is going to be St. Clair looking to find this win here over Emerson. Only 1 control point needed. That's like you were saying, just so much wiggle room. Like, you have 4 minutes to get like a 5-second capture here. It's going to be needing stellar defense coming through from Emerson. The attacking will begin here now. 4 minutes here on the clock, ready to go, and St. Clair is diving in nice and early on here. G-Skills on the back line with that big sniper of his, firing away some big shots. He has been so good at playing these maybe don't have a lot of shots characters, but they have very heavy hitting shots, and you just have to connect on them. G-Skills, very good at that.
Yeah, absolutely. More of like the bolt-action rifle kind of shots rather than the automatic kind of firing. And meanwhile, Bailable has definitely a good mixture for himself on the DPS side of things and playing one of the best flankers in the game, of course, right now. Genji just firing away from the backside here. It's Apostle takes care of Ghost Girlie, which is going to make her life extremely difficult because that's a long way you have to try and get back here. And it's not necessarily doing a ton of damage until the dive in, as you saw. Go point blank there with the sniper and just makes it so difficult to deal with. Slowly but surely, Bailable is going to find himself the triple just with basically auto attacks and dashes alone with the rest of the Saints right there with backup. Beautifully done. Saints going to take this one in 2-0 fashion. And just an unfortunate dismemberment there on... for Emerson, but Saints just
in the grave.
Yeah, but yeah, Saints were just on another level to start off this Overwatch Collegiate Championship series. So that's what you like to see.
Exactly what you like to see. I mean, just so dominant of a force coming through here from the Saints today. And just not a whole lot the side of Emerson could do to stop it. St. Clair just kept the pressure on right from the beginning of the game. We saw them within 2 minutes having spawn traps on the go in that first map. And that's when I knew that when Saints are spawn trapping somebody, they're probably coming out of the game with a win.
For the most part, because there are some times where they maybe pull that trigger a little bit too soon, then they get taken down, then okay, and there goes the first point. But yeah, they're able, even if it looked like Emerson was fighting back, which there were a few times where it looked like they had some of the DPS, some of the support line like quite low, but just the support line there from St. Clair able to keep everybody topped off, and in the moment of need to pull off that strategy, they were able to clutch things up. So big props to basically everybody for pulling that one off.
I got to give credit to Emerson where it's due, though. They did a very, very good job of just keeping keeping the pressure on. Like, they didn't just be like, okay, we lost game 1, we're giving up, right? No, they kept the pressure on in game 2. They kept coming back. They kept trying their absolute hardest to try to take this second game and try to force a game 3. Just unable to. St. Clair will be able to find the win regardless. And that's going to be game number 1 here of our Overwatch Collegiate Championship Series. But I believe the second game for this league is going to be back at 5 p.m. against USF.
Yeah, so we got definitely a solid afternoon of action, a stacked lineup basically here today. Of course, we had our Emerson game at 1, but later on at 3 o'clock, we do have our League of Legends matchup for CLOL. That's going to be up against Hutchison, which I believe is the second or third ranked CLOL team. I know we've had ourselves a pretty easy time with CLOL as of right now. That being said, though, with Hutchison being one of the top squads, don't sleep on them. I'm looking forward to that matchup. And then, yeah, for Overwatch, 5 o'clock, we'll be right back up against the University of South Florida, which is going to be a scary one.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit more of a difficult one here for the Saints. But regardless, with that being said, for the matchup here with the CLOL, it's going to be like, yes, it's if you're breaking it down for the viewers here, the reason we've had a little bit of an easier time is because we're in that community college division, right? And those schools typically not with as many students, and St. Clair just disgusting Rocket League team for not that many students. So what can you do? I mean, St. Clair is going to have the number here on CLOL here at 3 p.m. And honestly, Hutchinson going to be a good opponent. I'd like to see the Saints get tested.
Absolutely. I mean, I've said time again here on the Saints broadcast over the years that as much as I'm here for the hometown squad, I like seeing a close matchup of a back and forth for the sake of the show and for everybody at home. But that being said, we could very well have that here today. Do not want to sleep on anybody, because if we know anything, once you start thinking that you're going to 3-0 people, all of a sudden you throw the game and get a
3-1
game against you. So.
Yeah, exactly. So regardless of that being said, we are going to be back here in just a little bit. I think it's that game actually went a lot quicker than we expected.
Pretty quick, yeah.
So we are going to actually probably shut the stream down here for a little bit here now.
Yeah, we're going to have to shut some things up,
Yeah, we're going to shut some things down here before we get on to League at 3 p.m. So stick around, go get a drink, go do whatever you need to do. We'll be back here at 3 p.m. with some more action in League of Legends. And
one thing I do want to point out, though, any of y'all with channel points right now, every single time I turn off the stream today to set things up, that counts as a separate stream. Which means if you have the points banked, there's a chance today that you can get yourself 3 entries, of course, into our Twitch giveaway for an assortment of possibilities here.
Well, let me pull up my phone here right now.
Am I giving away the strats here, apparently? But yeah, Saints merch giveaway happening at the end of the month, of course. A wide assortment of things that you can choose from. And you just from watching the Saints stream, whether it be the live matches or the reruns, just as a thank you, basically, for everybody for tuning in and supporting your Saints.
Hey, all I'm saying, all the Saints merch, very comfortable and looks very, very nice. So make sure you guys enter the giveaway while you can for your chance to win here at some Saints merch. But without further ado, we are probably going to take a quick little break here
There's
now.
a little bit of setup to do, so we're probably going to close it out now. Yeah.
Exactly. So without being said, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back here in about an hour and just a little bit after that to catch some more CLOL action. So stay with us. My name is Jackson the Pride Brown, joined alongside Dan, Mr. Danners, and we'll be back with you guys in just a little bit.